Okay, so the Shimmer Detailed Laser Cut papers comes with two different kinds of sheets. First, you have this 12 by 12 piece that has, the whole thing is just a big floral piece of lace, basically, and it's so beautiful, but they're also very fragile. And then you also receive this piece. Sorry, I have like several of them on top of each other. Maybe I'll take two of them off so you can see better what it is. This piece has, some different backgrounds and details that you can use for your card making. You can see you've got frames, you have little flower sprays, the bird, we're upside down, borders, and today I'm going to use these dandelion pieces. Well, I'm calling them dandelions. I suppose they could be a different flower as well. Now these papers are, on this side, they're shimmery and they're vanilla, but you can also use the other side, which is just white. It's not shimmery, but there's certainly nothing wrong with using the other side if you prefer a white. Okay. Now these come in a pack. You get 3 of these and 3 of the lace pieces. Hello everyone, in a pack. Now these were, I believe they were $23, which were still well worth it because these are just absolutely stunning. But they actually are on the last chance list for $12 a pack. So that's just such a bargain. So I would, if you love these, then grab those before they're all gone. And I've taken away my actual mat. Thanks. Okay, we need that. Okay, so let me show you the finished project that we're going to go through today. And it's actually a fairly simple card to do, but I think quite beautiful, and one that anyone would just love to receive this. And of course, I'm just using the dandelions, but you can recreate this exact same technique and style with all of, or any of those laser cut images. Even that big 12 by 12 lacy sheet, you could cut up the different pieces and use that as well. So let's first start by doing this background piece. I'm also trying to make some cards during this time where most people are at home, where you only need word stamps to finish them off. So this is one of those where you just need some words, and then the rest of it is all inks or die cuts or punches or embossing folders, but you don't necessarily have to have certain images to finish it. So I have a piece of watercolor paper, and this is, I should have brought my ruler, but I want to say it's 5.5 by 3 3/4 ish, somewhere around there. And we're going to add some color to this. Now you can pick any couple of colors that you like, even 3 colors. I'm using Bermuda Bay and Pear Pizzazz, but of course you can use any colors that you particularly like. And you'll take an aqua painter, and I still have a little bit of ink on there. You don't need to. And I just get my piece of paper wet first. Not soaking wet, although that is a little bit wet. I might just dry that off a little bit. Nothing like a sleeve for that, but just so it's a bit wet, but not puddling ink. Okay, then you can squeeze your ink pad together till you get a little puddle of ink on the lid, and just grab some of that and then just place it onto your watercolor paper. You could also use the shimmer white paper for this. It doesn't work well with Whisper White or Very Vanilla, the standard ones. And then just clean off your ink pad. I'll just grab a little not your ink pad, your aqua painter. And then I'm going to add a little Pear Pizzazz. Down here at the bottom. Now I suggest, and it's just my opinion, but rather than having that hard line right there, if you just grab a little more ink and just kind of blend the 2 colors, then it just looks a little more watercolory. Okay, and then you can let that dry, and you can add just a little more of the color if you want when it's nearly dry or totally dry. Okay, now then I quite like when it's about at this point where it's not soaking wet or really wet, but still a little damp, is get the water flowing in your brush. And then you can just tap it on your finger. And what I've got here is I've actually just dropped some water droplets on there, and you can start to see that it's where the water is diluting the ink. So you're going to end up with some like drops of water there when it's done. You can even pick up some of the ink and splash a little bit of that on there, and then you'll end up with darker splotches on there. Or you can do both like I've just done. And then you want to just set that aside and let it dry, or you can use your heat tool. I actually have one that I did already that's already dry, and this one I put several layers of ink, and it came out quite dark, but maybe a little darker than I wanted, but it doesn't matter. I'll just use it, and I'll move this because it's wet now. I'm just going to use it anyway, and we'll just see how the different ones look. Okay, so then I have a piece of thick Whisper White, the A5 size, or your standard card base anyway, and just going to fold that in half. Sorry, I said Whisper White, I think. It's actually thick, very vanilla. So we do have thick Whisper White for our card bases, but don't forget there was also thick, very vanilla for your cards that you don't want totally, white. These for your more vintagey or your vanilla type cards. Okay, then I have a piece of Bermuda Bay that is just a bit larger than my piece of my watercolor paper. So this would be about 5 3/4 by maybe 4 inches about. And with this one, I went ahead and already did it, but I've embossed it with the Coastal Weave embossing folder. This one's also on the discontinuing list, which I'm a little disappointed is not quite the right word, but you know what I mean. Like I wish it would have stayed, because it's really nice for our South Pacific type projects, and I like these more natural looking embossing folders. Now what I'm going to do on this one is take the Whisper White ink pad, and you can use a sponge, but I'm just going to use the ink pad directly and just rub that on there. It just really brings out the embossing, and I think it looks great. So I think everyone should have a white ink pad and also a crumb cake ink pad just for these sort of techniques. Then I'm going to take my scissors and just rough up those edges. So just like this. So it looks like that. If you don't like this look, if you like things to be more clean and tidy, then of course, just don't do that. But I think the basket type of look kind of lends itself to more of a rough look. And then we're going to put that onto our card base, onto our very vanilla. If I can get my glue out, there we go. And you can put it on straight, it will line up. I'm going to put it on just slightly off center. And it's all right if it hangs off the edge just a little bit. It will still easily fit in your envelopes. Okay, then we'll go back to this piece. And what I'm going to do here is emboss it with the subtle folder. And I know you probably can't really see much because it is very subtle. It's a very, very fine, and I'm just going to emboss it. Sorry, my machine's too big to fit under the camera. It's a very, very fine texture that just adds some fine lines, so it looks kind of like basil paper, if you know what that looks like. So I've done it this way, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it in the other direction as well. And then you end up with a real canvas look. If you can see the back there, because you have stripes going both directions, like so. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and rough up those edges as well. And now that it's been embossed, and even embossed twice, the paper is actually really fairly soft, very pliable is probably the word I'm looking for. And then even if you want to go that extra step, if you're a little more adventurous, you can even crinkle it up. And whenever I do this in front of people, there's always people who gasp. But I quite like that texture. And then you can flatten it out mostly if you want. So there's still a bit of texture there, but it's flattened back out. And then I'm going to take my white ink pad again and just kind of go over those creases. It will be very subtle, but it just brings out those creases a little bit more. Now, again, if you don't like that sort of distressed look, then just don't do it. You can just have your watercolored piece on, nice and clean and bright and happy and flat. I kind of like this. It's just a little more interesting, I suppose. But again, these are always your projects, so whatever it is that you like and what reflects you and your personality. Okay, so we're going to put on some dimensionals. Although you could just use glue because the wrinkling, there's a better word that I can't think of right now, the texture that we've added to the paper does add quite a bit of dimension all by itself. And then I'm going to put that on also at an angle, like so. Okay, then now it's time for us to grab our little dandelion pieces from our laser cuts. So I have cut that out of the sheet using my trimmer, and it's just 1/8 of an inch or maybe about 2 millimeters on each side. Mine's not totally perfect. That doesn't bother me, but it's about 1/8 of an inch. Just going to pop out that one little piece. Actually, one thing before I put that on, I want to add a little bit of color. So you could grab like an orange ink pad or a yellow ink pad, or you could even go red if you want some real contrast, and a sponge dauber. And I'm just going to add just a little bit of color in the middle of those flowers. I quite like the contrast against the blue. There's no other yellow in this project, but it still looks good. Okay, and then, yeah, I like those colors together. Then we're just going to carefully put some glue on there. Okay, I'm not being that careful. Just kind of put some glue on in a few places. Don't worry about getting it like everywhere on all 4 corners. Just enough so that it's going to stay down. And again, you can put that on straight. I might put mine on just slightly at an angle. And then lightly tap it down because you've got that real textured piece on the background, so you don't want to totally squash that, but just tap it down. So it's going to adhere in enough places that it's going to stay. Then I'm just going to add some gems. Hello everyone, I see some hellos coming through. Now these are I think they call them clear faceted gems. And I remember when they first came out, I thought, what in the world are those bumpy things? But actually I've grown to really like these. And they are also being discontinued now. They've been around for 2, maybe even 3 years. So if they're still there, if they're not sold out, you might want to grab some of those. So just adding a couple of those in our flower centers. Then I wanted to add just some words. And I think it's quite nice to add some contrast at this point because we're all very monochromatic so far. So I went ahead and did this before. I have die cut using the very skinniest of the, I can't get it out, the stitched rectangles, the very skinniest one in black. And then I stamped the You're Amazing from the Ornate Thanks. This is a brand new one that's available now and will be in the book in June. And I just really like this font. And the words are just the right size. So I've stamped that in Versamark and then use white embossing powder. And I'm going to use my black dimensionals that finally arrived. It was so exciting to get a box. Okay, well, a couple of boxes actually. And then place that wherever you think looks good. Especially if you have a spot that you want to cover up on your project, it's good for that sort of thing. And then there was just one more thing I wanted to add. Using the, gosh, I tend to go blank when I'm on camera, but the lace trim border, or this scallop trim border, I think it's called, ribbon border actually, and just punch out a couple of those out of old olive or any, I think dark green, or even you could go dark yellow, but just a contrast. And they don't need to match up because we're just going to cut out a couple of, just the element itself, just a couple of them. And just make sure the edges are even, like on the right and left side, that you don't have like half a scallop, that it looks tidy. Now you can choose to have this more lacy edge showing, or you can have that more solid scallopy edge showing, whichever. I'm going to go for the more solid. It doesn't matter, whichever you like better. And I'm going to tuck that up under here, so there's just that little bit of color peeping out of the bottom. And then do the same at the top. This is just a nice way to add a little bit of contrast and color, and it's using up scraps, so really it's not adding any cost or extra cutting to your project either. It's just using little bits and pieces. Okay, so we have that, and then I'll grab my finished one. Inside your card, you can just use some of those trims that you have extra on the laser sheet, or you can do some stamping or a little bit of watercoloring, whatever you want to do on the inside and on the envelope. All right, so that's our project for today. I hope you enjoyed that and give it a go. And there's lots of different ways to do backgrounds, but that's one way that's quite easy and effective, and a way to use your beautiful laser cuts or die cuts. So have a look at the last chance list and the clearance rack while you're there. And thanks for watching. This is Jackie.